There was Peter and Raul currently walking around the perimeter. Everyone else was around the campfire, eating their food. He half listened to the things they were talking about, but a part of him just wanted to walk around instead of sitting down. Resting for so long just makes me feel restless, James thought to himself. Maya, wanna walk around the perimeter and let Peter and Raul get their food? James suggested. You know, that's supposed to be a serious thing, making sure that there's nothing sneaking up on us. Not a date session where you guys enjoy the atmosphere. Kate teased when she heard James's suggestion. Chuckling, he moved to where the forest cat and rabbits were roasting. Removing a dagger, James cut into the meat with a bowl of stew below it. The fat dripped into the stew, and soon the meat followed after it. Let me refill my bowl. Maya shyly smiled at James before going off with the bowl. Nodding, he looked at the drawing on the ground. Holding the stick, Mim said, Based on our current rate and finding food, I don't think getting enough energy will be an issue. I feel like I'll be leveling up soon if things continue, Sam nodded. James smiled at Sam's words, knowing that the older adventurer was stressing about being the lowest level in his group before joining up with James's group. So he was happy that Sam would be level 30 soon. It would also be helpful if Sam grew in strength, only increasing the chances of their success. The question is how much further we need to go before we're out of this forest, Sam said. Mim sighed. The problem is that we don't know anything about what's beyond the forest. It'll be difficult to anticipate what we'll encounter. Seeing Maya with her bowl, James left Mim and the others to talk amongst themselves. Sliding the lower portion of his helmet, he dipped the meat into the stew and ate it. The meat had the wild taste he was expecting, like any of the monsters he'd eaten before. But it was stronger than what they ate inside the Adventurers Guild. Even with the intense natural flavors coming through, it wasn't enough to ruin the experience. The stew paired well with the meat, considering the flavor came from the rabbit meat. It was even better with the spices and herbs, in addition to the vegetables added to it. Next to him, Maya was casually eating the food. Making their rounds, Raul and Peter noticed James and Maya. You wake up? Peter asked. Nodding. Yeah. I just need to recover. I'm feeling a lot better after taking a short nap. Indicating to himself and Maya, James said, I figured that the two of you could use a break and get some food. How's it looking? Maya asked. Peter shrugged. It's been quiet, like any other night. And that's why we need to be vigilant, Raul said. We don't know if the monsters in the forest are waiting for a weakness in our defense, or if whatever's out there is planning for something else. He looked into the dark forest. James could understand the feeling. It felt like something should be happening, but then nothing did happen. The mood felt oppressive and had no plans of letting up. I'll take up your offer and head to get some food. I've been smelling it the entire time we were walking around the perimeter, and I think I'm ready to have some. Peter smiled, clearly happy to eat something instead of just walking around and staring into the void around them. Raul nodded in agreement. The two gave a wave to James and Maya before making their way to the center of the camp. Now it's just the two of us, James smiled. Since they had taken up the request right after the one that they had finished, James couldn't spend any time with Maya, though he knew that the two of them enjoyed working instead of just relaxing, which is why their relationship was able to do as well as it did.